Guys, welcome to Real Talk. Thank you kindly for joining us. This, of course, the insider's guide to real estate across Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia in totality. It is powered by the Yes team, Keith and Yonna Smith, making dreams a reality from a home buying and selling standpoint. We're excited to spotlight the Yonna Smith evolution here on Real Talk, and her flip book, her professional flip book of how she got into real estate, how she migrated to the country, and how she's really, making a lot of people's dreams a reality in the home category from a buying and selling standpoint. I think we should go to the studio cam. Judah Wickhauer and Harris Tolber help make the show possible. And let's welcome the stars of the show, Yonna Smith over here.
Oh, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Keith Smith over here. Hello, Keith.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. This portion of the program, thanks to Roy Wheeler Realty Company. For over 100 years, Michael Guthrie, Keith, and his team at Roy Wheeler Realty Company have really serviced Central Virginia successfully.
And that it has. And, we've mentioned this several times about Michael Guthrie in the show, but, one of the great things about working with Michael, and we hang our licenses there, is he's such a mentor, and, what we like about it makes it a little bit different than some other organizations or real estate agencies in Charlottesville. He doesn't list or sell, and his goal is purely to help us grow our business. So we're super appreciative of that every day, and hopefully we share that with him and say thanks. So thank you, Michael, if you're watching.
Roy Wheeler Realty Company, welcome to the show. Leslie Gourday, Ron Gantz, and James Watson. Your brother-in-law watching
James.
Right now.
Hey,
Good morning,
before
James.
you did it, we had a conversation yesterday of 4th of July to bring him on. So he's coming on. He fought me a little bit, but he's going to come on.
James, we're excited to have you on the program. We will get out of the way, and this is the first Sizzle Reel waiting to happen. We're going to spotlight Yonna Smith, been in real estate since 1987. Officially licensed in 1999. The show is yours. Yonna Smith and real estate. Anywhere you want to go.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us again.
Our pleasure.
I absolutely love the opportunity to have a voice again and speak a little bit about the experience that I've had and I'm blessed to have on my journey through coming to the United States. And as a matter of fact, we were blessed enough yesterday to welcome 73 new American citizens in a beautiful ceremony at Monticello, and again reinforces the American dream is still alive, and I'm very grateful and happy to be here and blessed to be here. So
I love it. How
absolutely.
does the American dream pertain to you specifically? For all those that are just hearing this for the first time, your entire background of how you came to the country, where you came from.
It's as you know, I'm an Austrian native. And believe it or not, at the tender age of 13, I was exposed to some very interesting jazz music through my aunt, and she played the Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin. And at that time, I probably decided at a very young age that this is the country I would like to go to, especially I wanted to know where this music was coming from. And indeed, about 20 years later, I was able to go ahead and, with the help of my now husband, to make the entry to the United States, and is a country that always was portrayed as opportunities, chances. You work hard, you definitely can better your life and have an opportunity to, settle, have a family, and live a happy life.
So much of real estate is human connection
Yes.
and relationships,
Yes.
and making people feel comfortable and understanding that you're going to work hard for them and stand by them through a very tumultuous or emotionally roller coaster type of ride. You certainly embody all those qualities, Yonna. Why real estate to begin with for your professional path?
I have a business and marketing background, and I always have the love of human connection, always had it as long as I can remember physically being pointed to. And it's about the connection versus communication. If you're able to go ahead and build a relationship that somebody will remember you and you can make a difference in someone's life, I think that's the basis, the core of all this. And truly enjoy, having the human element in our business be, I would say, one of the bases of how we grow and operate our business.
I love it. Keith, we'll get you in the mix here.
Yeah, so, we love people finding homes, not houses.
Yeah.
Or property, right? So it's, and we've mentioned this before, we are relational, not transactional. It doesn't matter if we're helping at $100,000 or $1 million plus or whatever. We put the same amount of effort in. It's about building a relationship and helping somebody achieve their goals and objectives. It just happens to be selling real estate, so that's kind of a shorter version of that. I think Yonna's being a little bit. And I might have to pull little things out of her earlier life on the conversation.
Please do.
But so she was born in Beirut and actually spoke Arabic before she spoke German, right?
Yeah.
And
as a young child, yes.
And lived all over the world. Her father was an international banker, so she traveled the world a little bit. But the story about we were just doing this the other day. So Vienna Philharmonic has a Midsummer's Eve concert, and it was all about Rhapsody in Blue. So
the American spirit. It was about the American spirit.
American experience, that's right, yeah. So my bows and my polk speakers were playing Rhapsody in Blue in the house. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I was on the way thinking on this, how just lucky I am to be able to do this with this young lady since 1987. We've been building and developing and selling real estate, and it's really not a job. We just love doing it.
One of the qualities I love about you, Yonna, is your humility, and you're very low key and humble. One of the qualities I love about Keith is he and I's personality align a little more, and we're a little bit more showmanship, if you may. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
What exactly are you trying to say?
Be the showman for Yonna. American dream.
Oh.
Come in here. Coming to the country, building a career in a business. You know her better than anybody.
Well, I would hope.
You do.
But, so our stories, and we like to tell stories, right? We're storytellers, you and I. So, we were driving in, just talking about, hey, what do you want to talk about today? And I was like, I just really want to talk about how important you are in my life and how we met and how we got into this business. But we first met behind the Iron Curtain. So if one could picture all these pictures of North Korea, that's how it was when we met. We were in Bulgaria, but this was the Soviet Union back in the first half of the 80s, and I am blessed every day because this woman here was in the Austrian State Department. She was on a track to be a bit of a rock star in the Austrian State Department, and she left all that to come live with me.
Pursue the American dream.
Pursue the American dream. Okay, I thought it was about me, but it
No,
could have been the American dream.
That
Thought it
too.
was me. Okay, great. You wait 33 years and you tell me it now. It was the American dream. But it's, and we had nothing. We were, when I say we were poor, we were poor. But we've built our lives and our businesses, and the key to it is we're very honest with one another. And I'll kind of pivot a little bit. So our oldest daughter asked me when she got married 2 years ago, what's the secret of marriage? And the secret of marriage is to marry somebody or be with somebody that makes you a better person every day. And she makes me a better person every day. I'd like to think I do. I'm trying anyway.
Most of the time.
Nah, not really. Not even close. Not even close. But I'm trying, so that's got to count for something.
It does count for something.
Yeah, but it's hard to explain what we do because we just do it. And I'm a little bit fumbling for words at the moment, which is difficult. Not my normal stick here, but hopefully that kind of prods you along for a question.
Oh, it does. It does. I'm curious, as an entrepreneur myself, what the American dream is or was or how it's characterized, say, in Austria, and how Europe or how someone that's not from the country, because I think we take it for granted being born in the country, put that in perspective.
Just from a point of view of opportunities and chances and just the vastness of the country itself. I mean, if you think about comparison Austria to the United States, we have 6 million people living in Austria. Well, that's about, what, a third of...
It's about Virginia.
Virginia. So just the vastness and the spirit that, not just now, but from the past, that as a newer country, you know, with a lot of spirit and dedication and hard work, you can make it. I mean, I look at the pioneers, for instance, traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast. It's amazing what they did and what they were able to accomplish. So that's an opportunity. I'm not saying that you cannot have that opportunity in Austria, but I think you have.
It's much more difficult.
It's a different approach. What really captured always my dream is, you know, I'm very music centric. So I mean, for me, music is just an amazing modus to bring people together, and that was one of the many reasons why I just love to go ahead and explore the opportunities.
Jerry, it wasn't my singing, trust me.
Yeah, no, he did not sing.
You want to sing now?
No.
Okay, we'll lose sponsors.
We will lose sponsors, without a doubt.
But just the opportunity that, you know, that you can make it work. If you have a goal, if you have a dream, you can achieve it.
So
and
it's really
hardworking.
It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it is.
And it sounds like we're fumbling for words because it's just so in your heart.
It is. Yes.
But
genuine.
You know, if anybody who hasn't attended one of these naturalization ceremonies, I highly recommend it. I tell people all the time, if you want to get your, hey, it's great to be American, kicked back up again, and believe me, if we need it now, we need it more than ever in this country. You know, and put your politics, let's put it all out aside. And just what they do at the end of every one of these ceremonies is they open court. It is a legal action, you know, that happens. But what they'll do is at the end they'll say, hey, does anybody want to get up and say anything of these newly minted U.S. citizens? And yesterday about 12 people got up and they hand these microphones. And as an American, as a born American, you know, what happens? You listen to the story on what it took. Mm-hmm. From this person from Afghanistan, or, you know, even England, and the energy and the effort to get through this. It took Yonna 20 years to become a U.S. citizen. Yeah. And you listen to that, and if you don't walk away feeling re-energized to be an American, then I don't know what else I could possibly ever say.
I'm curious. Let's spotlight this. That's the end of the first Sizzle Reel there. That's fantastic stuff. My question all the way to Yonna, the first one through that. We're going to spotlight and Judah, you have some photos that you can put on screen where Keith and Yonna were at Monticello yesterday. It's the 57th annual Independence Day celebration and naturalization ceremony at Monticello. You have touched on this, and welcome Ingrid Seidel.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us.
High school. She's a high school friend of mine.
She's watching now.
From Austria.
Yeah, from
Look
Austria.
at that, huh?
Laura Jennings, welcome to the program.
Thank
Melissa
you.
Butler, Justine Montgomery, thank you for joining us.
You.
Kyle Irvin at Charlottesville Transit, James Sively, thank you for joining us. Give it a like, give it a share. This is going to start the second Sizzle Reel here, Judah Wickhauer. The Independence Day celebration and naturalization ceremony. Mm-hmm. You just said it took you 20 years to become a U.S. citizen. So did you arrive in 86?
Came in 86.
Okay, so that's 2006 officially?
2006 officially.
Wow.
I became a naturalized citizen.
Put
That's
that
the
whole
flag,
process. This is her flag?
This is the flag I received when I naturalized, yes.
Tell us about the flag. Tell us about the process. Why does it take 20 years? I mean, I have no background on this because, like I said, I take it for granted being born in the country.
I would say there were a couple of little hurdles that we had to go through just to go ahead and make sure that the application was received correctly. And we attempted this, or I attempted this at least 2 or 3 times before we actually seeked out some legal assistance to go ahead and help us with that. It's not an easy process. It really isn't, just from the paperwork end of it and the rest of the stuff. But the amazing part, teaching moments again. The amazing part is I learned so much about American history. Oh, yeah. It was amazing. And that really made me proud. So to the point where when we finally got the appointment that we were able to go ahead and schedule the naturalization, I was initially hoping that I could do this on a July 4th celebration at Monticello, but unfortunately my father at that time was very ill, so I had to kind of expedite that. But I naturalized here at the courthouse in Charlottesville with 20 other citizens, newer citizens, and it was February 13th of 2006, and it was just an amazing feeling. I remember that.
But it was complicated because, believe it or not, it wasn't not so much on our side of it, because it was on the Austrian side, because the U.S. allows for dual citizenships.
Yes.
Austria did not at the time.
Yeah, so it was a little while.
And one of my silly jokes is we thank Uncle Schwarzenegger because he was trying... Arnold. He was trying to become governor and whatever, and he ended up...
This is California at the time?
Yeah, it was California at the time, yeah.
He was already, I can't remember the timing of it, but, he basically petitioned the Austrian government to allow this to happen because, Yonna's executor of her parents' estate and so forth and so on. So, it's it was long on that end of it. But the other end, are you comfortable with me telling the green card story?
No.
No, I shouldn't, or no?
It's okay. It's good.
It's okay to tell it.
It's good.
There's a story about that yes and no thing. We'll save that for an off air.
Yes.
Because I wasn't sure if that was yes or no.
Yeah. So the first date with her.
Wait, are you getting yourself in trouble?
I'm
going
to totally get myself into trouble. The first date, right? I said I was trying to be a perfect gentleman, and I said, "Do you mind if I kiss you?" And she said no, which obviously means yes. And then I kissed her. And
no means yes.
It does, but right? Do I mind? Right? Do you mind if I kiss you? And she says no. Then no means yes. So,
right,
so then I did it. And then I think after it was over, she says, "I guess I got to marry you now." So, but so Yonna was born in Beirut. Born in actually an American hospital, which was so Beirut. In 1962, was in the middle of one of its wars.
Yeah, many ones.
When she was born, a couple days later, the hospital was firebombed. So Yonna doesn't have her original birth certificate because everybody, had to get out of the country and all these different things. And plus, she was also worked behind the Iron Curtain pretty much the first half of the 80s. So it was really difficult. And then somebody stole a green card.
Yeah, it was a couple of hurdles along the way.
A couple of hurdles.
We were able to clear
we
them
go
out.
through even an American passport right now. We just came back from overseas, and when she goes through, they say, "Hey, you had your green card stolen."
Yeah.
They're just constantly there.
But it's a good experience. It was a teaching moment.
She's the most proud American I know.
Oh yeah, I love America.
It's just amazing how.
Yeah. The opportunities, the family, how I was welcomed. I do remember one of the first 4th of July celebrations that I actually had a pleasure of celebrating with Keith's parents.
Was this in Brooklyn?
This was in Long
Actually,
Island.
we moved out to
many
Long
years.
Island at that. My parents moved to Long Island at that point.
The kids, younger siblings that Keith has, actually made me an American flag and celebrated my first.
That's right.
My first 4th of July in the States. I still have that flag.
It's 1986.
Yeah, 1986. So it's amazing.
You're getting some positive feedback from, is it Amy Weidel?
Oh, I love Amy. Hi,
Yeah.
Amy.
She says, our country is wonderful, and we need to honor and respect and protect her. God bless America.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Keith and Yonna. Yonna is an amazing example to so many who wish to become a U.S. citizen. Thank you, Yonna, for
Thanks,
what you
Amy.
have done.
Thank you.
So Amy and Chris, her husband, and Yonna and I are in our Houston, which is their son, and our daughter Yvonne are now engaged. So we're all in the process. They're soon to be family members, or we're both all going to be family members, and we're in the middle of planning a wedding, I think. So.
John Updike, your colleague at
Thank
Roy
you.
Wheeler, he
Hi,
says
John.
the first couple of real estate,
Thank
Bravo,
you.
Yonna, and Keith Smith. Talk to us about the evolution, and that's the end of the second Sizzle Reel there, Judah, and this is the start of the third. This portion of the program, thanks to Mike Bittrick
Thank
and
you.
First Heritage Mortgage. Keith, put First Heritage Mortgage and Mike Bittrick in perspective for us.
Yeah, so we've constantly talked about that. You know, Mike is a relational guy. It's about getting it done, and you know, I cannot highly recommend him for his services on getting a mortgage. It's not roadblocks. There is, hey, we hit a roadblock. Here's 4 solutions, and that's what you want in somebody who's trying to fund one of your houses. So.
Totally agree. And Mike, we enjoyed having you on the program.
Yeah, it was great.
87, you get into real estate.
Yep.
87 to 99, you guys are running a business, building homes, developing, taking risk, having vision, being entrepreneurs. 99, you get your license. You're now, is it an associate broker?
I'm an associate broker.
An associate broker. She's a mentor to many agents in the area. She offers training and educational seminars where she helps improve agents and what they do from a home buying and selling standpoint. Has real estate in her blood. Talk to us about the 87 to 99 period, then 99 to 2019, 20-year anniversary as a licensed agent. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I love it, absolutely. I would consider the 1987 to 99 period as, now looking back, sort of the apprentice period in my professional career.
In real estate.
In real estate. Learned a lot as far as home construction is concerned. I mean, being married to a builder and more or less being in a building family, you learn the different trades, and taught me a lot about what to do and what not to do, what to expect, what not to expect, and most importantly, I think that was the core. When I say apprenticeship, I think that was the core learning experience for me on how the human element in this process will always play a key role.
It's always emotional.
It's always an emotional process. If you're able to connect early on, if you're able to help set the right expectations and be genuine about it, be authentic about it, you definitely have, I would say, advocates for life and friends for life, and that's truly what we were able to go ahead and establish here as far as our business is concerned. So the transition from the construction end of it, the business
we always
end
were
of it,
in it. It's just
we were
you were
always
just
in
licensed at the time.
Yeah, and so the transition into real estate was fairly easy, with the exception of, I can honestly tell you, this was one of the hardest exams I've ever took in order to become a real estate agent.
Really?
It was pretty hard, yes.
And this is a woman that can translate.
Well, I was gonna say, you speak 5 languages, is it?
3.
Three languages.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I
So
would
you're
like to
you're
speak
extremely
5.
bright, is where I was getting
Well,
with that.
it took me a while to go.
Other than men, of course.
Yeah, he's so full of it today.
He's only had 1 coffee this
One
morning.
coffee, I tell you. Don't give him any more, please.
I won't.
All right, I'll behave.
But no, seriously, it was just another teaching moment on finding out really where are my strengths and where are my weaknesses. And I always love to study. I'm definitely intrigued by that, and I love, obviously would like to do the best I can. And I was fortunate enough to pass the exam the first time, which was amazing. I never thought I would. But so anyhow, but from 1999 onward, I think another teaching experience with a lot of mentors along the way to kind of bring me to the level where I am today. And one of them, obviously, is Michael Guthrie, with obviously with Roy Wheeler Realty Company, and he also exposed me to the coaching and teaching element, and introduced me to Brian Buffini. I don't know if Buffini means anything to you, but he is one of the, I would say, the top real estate coaches in North America, and I think pretty much worldwide at the moment.
Sure.
So I became a mentor coach for the company, which elevated me into an area that I thought I would never be able to be in, and help folks grow their business and ultimately reach their levels. He's also an immigrant. Yeah, I brought a book that
from Ireland.
Ireland, yeah.
Came here with $92 in his pocket.
Yeah.
Owns his own Learjet now.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the dream right there. Logan
Very
Wells,
successful.
Claylo says, great couple.
Thank you.
Great mentors. Denise Ramey, welcome to the program.
Hey,
Thank you for
Denise.
joining us.
Thank you, Denise.
Sarah Buczynski, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
So
Laura Jackson watching.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
To put 87 to now kind of in perspective, I think we're kind of at a point in our lives that it's just like giving back, and we just really, it really warms our heart to help people and coach them and move forward. And if it just happened to make money at it, cool. But you know, that's really, it is really not that deeper than that.
How do you look at 87 to 99? Yonna described and characterized it as an apprenticeship.
Apprenticeship was, for me, it was an apprenticeship.
Right,
Yes.
knowing every aspect of the business, right? What do you see it as?
Yeah, so it was us growing as a couple, and us growing as business owners, and us growing together with a family, and you know, we had 2 children, and you know, that whole thing of owning businesses and taking care of families. But you know, Yonna mentioned earlier, you know, I'm the oldest of 5. Yonna comes from a much smaller family, and you know, I remember when I asked her to marry me, I said, look, you know, you're not just marrying me, you're marrying all this. So are you comfortable with that? You know, because we're a multicultural family. We have African Americans, Latinos, some Jewish folks in our family. You know, we had a 4th of July event over my brother Matt's house, and what did we have, like 14 nieces and nephews running around from 0 to 12 or whatever, and 3 dogs, and you know, we're just a huge, in-your-face, multicultural, you know, no hole barred, you know, whatever's on somebody's mind, they're going to tell you, kind of family. And Yonna's perspective was a little bit differently, but I'll say this again, and I'll continue to say it. You know, I just, you know, to pick up everything that she was doing, the track she was going to do, to come all the way across the country, pregnant, by the way, to live with me in Canada as I was coming out of the Marine Corps. I had 9 months left in the Marine Corps, not knowing where we were going to go. We had no idea where we were going to go. I had no idea where we were going to live. I had no idea what I was going to do. All I knew is I was getting out. And, you know, how many years later? 34 years later, we're sitting here talking to you.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's amazing, amazing journey. I mean, if you think about that, teaching moments across the way.
She married me 3 times, by the way.
Oh, I'm nervous to ask what this
please.
means here. Should I go down this road?
Sure, you can go down
it
this
depends
road.
on, depends on how much time you have.
Okay, how do you marry somebody 3 times?
So we renewed our vows.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So our original wedding, which was
Canada.
in Canada, 158 Canadian dollars. I hope my youngest daughter's not listening.
That was the cost?
That was
Yes.
cost. And at that time, it was 88 US cents to 1 Canadian dollar. That included the...
Wait, because you have a daughter that's marrying a doctor here that has champagne tastes.
Who, our daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
She does not have champagne taste?
Oh, no.
Okay.
She follows my
Okay,
wife's...
gotcha.
Oh,
gotcha.
yeah,
Is she
no.
moving to Seattle?
She's in
She's
Seattle.
in Seattle.
She's in Seattle
Okay,
right now, yeah.
gotcha.
Seattle. Bless
So
her
that
heart.
included the wedding license, right?
The bands.
The wedding bands, and I think a meal too, right?
I'm not so
So
sure
I
about
can't
that.
remember,
I think
a glass
Mom
of
and Dad
champagne
helped
or
us out,
something like
whatever.
that.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so at our 10th year, we renewed our vows and had an actual big wedding. And
How many people in the first wedding?
12.
yeah,
Including you guys?
Uh-huh.
So 10?
Yeah.
Or 10 in
The family.
attendance?
10
family.
Okay.
and Yasmina Smith in a basket that was 2 weeks old.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when the duty I was on, just to put a little context to it, I had to sign a contract. One of the things was I couldn't get married when I was on the duty. So I had to finish that contract. And we were very adults about it. And we said, we're going to finish this contract before we enter into another contract or another relationship. So that was it. Yeah, that was 12 people.
And then what happened with the renewal of the vows at 10 years?
Oh, God.
And then I got to ask what happened with the third wedding, too.
So the renewing of the vows, we did, so those from New York would understand this. We would call this a football wedding. So basically we did it at a firehouse.
Okay.
We had, 6 or 7 kegs of beer.
Nice.
Just
You had a party.
200
It was a party.
something people.
Yeah.
200 DJ, and we renewed our vows, and we just had a big old party. Our third time, we were actually supposed to do it for our 20th, but that's when Yonna's mother passed away, and we deferred it to our 25th. But we did this on the beach in St. Maarten.
Yes,
on
25th anniversary, which was absolutely beautiful.
I just got a question coming
Yes.
in to ask you guys, what is it about St. Maarten you like so much?
Oh.
Elaborate on your travels to St. Maarten and why you love St. Maarten so much. Literally just came in.
You want to take that, or do you want me to take that?
I think she should take
I
it.
have to tell you, it's the people.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
without
friendly
doubt.
island. It's the people. We have seen them go through, a horrific experience in September of 2017. And we had the good fortune and the pleasure of kind of reconnecting with them last year for the first time after the hurricane. I mean, the spirit of these people is just amazing, amazing. Friendly island, good food, beautiful water. Oh my
Wine,
God, I
nice
miss the
wine.
water so much.
Rum?
Well,
bit of
rum, just the people. I
It's
have to
really
say
the
it's just
people.
amazing.
So we when we travel, if the tourists are here, we seek out the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So this is a little French village on the opposite corner of the island. It's called Grand Case. It's the culinary capital of the Caribbean. You know, you walk down literally a dirt street, and there's, you know, I would say next to Paris or, you know, France itself, because this is France technically, some of the best French food you'll ever get. In
I love
shorts, flip-flops, and a T-shirt.
That sounds my kind of vacation.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing, and the,
Yeah.
and the locals are just so
Yeah.
welcoming. And we've noticed it.
We're very fortunate. We
very
have a
much
lot of-
realized it again when
Yeah.
we were in St. Maarten in May. I mean, they literally came and thanked us for being
Sure,
here.
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing the business. Thank
These
you
are
for-
locals.
These are
aren't,
locals.
Sure.
you
And
know.
some of the businesses that we have friendships with, they were the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing.
I love it. I love
Spirit.
it. That right there, clip the end of that sizzle reel right there. That's fantastic. Neil Williamson, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Neil.
Thank
Deepak
you, Neil.
Singh,
But
thank
the-
you for joining us on the show.
The big reason I love that, to be as honest as I can, it's my opportunity to reconnect with my wife for a couple of weeks.
Yes, pretty much.
Well, and you
Free
guys
spirit.
work so hard,
We do.
and it's an opportunity. Now, did you not? Does memory serve correct? Did you not save a deal in the bottom of the ninth inning while on the beach?
Something
St.
like
Maarten?
that. Something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it just shows that like real estate, you know, a lot of times it's 24/7 to do it successfully. I love to learn from our guests. I'm going to throw this to you, Yonna. Like you've been in real estate since '87, 20 years as a licensed agent.
Yeah.
87 to 99 on the building side. How about if we can follow maybe trends in our market in Central Virginia? How about some of the let's be positive. We're in a boom right now. The market is hot. Prices are appreciating. You know, a lot of times it's our number one asset in our portfolio is our home is
Yes.
growing. When people see that growth and appreciation of their home, they feel confident, spend some money. Economy is good here. How about compare this booms to some of the other booms that you've seen in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia?
Well, we have seen the growth from, I would say, 2001 onward, 2001, 2002 onward, till about 2008, 2009, where obviously the economy adjusted itself, to put it positively. I can tell you that the accountability factor is now really the main focus. I mean, people are being held financially accountable and responsible for spending money. Which
The
is
banks are also being held accountable.
Well,
which
but there's
is,
also, yeah, you're right. So the banks are definitely in a, I would say, in a far more stringent environment.
Right.
But at the same time, I think the opportunities for anybody to buy a home or to make a home a new investment for themselves, I think is greater than it was, I believe, in 2001, 2002, just because of the fact that the climate is a little bit different in a sense
well,
that
the interest rates, right?
the interest rates,
Yeah.
I mean, historically low.
Yeah. Put
Still,
that in perspective. Our first house, we paid 18%.
18%. Yeah, I mean that's true. You're right.
18%.
18%,
1988,
yeah.
we paid 18%.
So I think the opportunities are there. I think the whoever is looking to either buy or sell a home or make a move, I think everybody is definitely far more educated or informed. Sometimes a little bit misinformed, but
Well, that's our
because
role.
there's just so much out there.
It's because of the internet, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which is a good tool, but at the same time you also need to take it with a find a little bit more with a different objective. But I think the opportunity is definitely there for somebody to really, really make a good step, a good investment, and make a home.
We were talking about this. We go for a walk every morning, and we were talking about this. I think it was yesterday morning or the day before. Kind of bouncing back and forth. What do you think? I think because the question you're asking is, where do you think the market's going?
That's where I was going to go.
Yeah,
well, it's kind of hard to predict that.
Yeah, and
you think there's a correction on the horizon?
I do actually.
I do too.
But
it has to be.
Right. Because it's been so strong, right?
Yeah.
For so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I've been through 89, 99, and 2009.
Right.
Right. Look, this is my opinion. It's this cup of coffee probably has a better opinion.
You're in the game, though, so your opinion matters.
Well, I appreciate that. So, I think what's going to happen, in my opinion, is I don't think we're not going to see a reoccurrence of the depression, real estate depression.
We are not?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't think so either.
I think what we're going to see is a leveling off of prices, right? Just kind of get into a normal growth pattern. We might take a small little dip down, but I don't think it's going to last all that long. I think you'll see some basic corrections and stuff, but nothing like, you shouldn't go out and buy a home, right? It's just going to be, instead of appreciating in X years, it'll be Y years, or maybe another year longer, or 2 years longer, or something along those lines. But your number one investment in your life is your home, and I mean, we're seeing this over and over, particularly in the millennial market. People are tired of paying rents.
Yep.
You can buy a house for less than rent.
Yep.
Especially in Charlottesville.
Also anywhere.
In all of the
Yeah.
6 jurisdictions
yeah.
around here, it's just the numbers are a little different, but the principles are the same. So I think we're in I call this a healthy market. It's not over accelerated, and it's not de-accelerating, if that makes any sense. It's just going to be a nice, smooth transition, which is what we all want to see. We don't want to see big swings one way or the other, in my opinion.
I'm going to throw this to you, this portion of the show, thanks to Hairsmith and Company.
Yeah, there you
Make
go.
this man's hair look phenomenal. Hairsmith and Company. Talk to us about Hairsmith and Company, Keith.
I think you just said it. Makes my hair.
It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
On Market Street?
On Market Street, yeah. And we're excited. We're actually, as soon as I finish this meeting, I'm going to talk to her. She's, we're thinking about maybe growing her footprint someplace, growing her business and helping her grow a business and stuff. So
I love
we're
that.
excited.
I love
it's
that.
directly related to this show, by the way. It's not.
Ray Cadell, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Ray.
Janet Reese, thank you for joining us on the
Thank
program.
you.
Julius Calvin Jefferson.
Hey,
Mr. Jefferson.
Julius, neat guy, man.
Yeah.
So he's one of the pictures. I think if you run through it, we met him yesterday. He's a friend of ours.
Cue up that photo, Judah, yesterday from Monticello.
I apologize. Yeah, please. So happened to be a client, turned into a very close friend, and I'll let Julius correct me because I'm probably going to get this wrong. But he's a direct descendant of Sally Heming.
Yep.
And just a super neat guy. Love being around him. Love hugging him. He's just when you meet a guy like that in an event like that, and you hug him, and he hugs you back with all this gusto, you're doing something right. That's worth more than a commission check.
I love it.
Just the fact for him to say to both of us, "Thank you for bringing me home again."
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, that just meant that everything.
So
you know
that
what I'm
was an
saying?
example. He was trying to get home.
Home. Yeah, that was the picture.
And he's on screen.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
showed him on screen. We got
Yeah.
Yonna on screen as well. Do you think, Yonna, correction on the horizon?
I want to probably put it a little bit in a less, I would say, in complex way.
Go
that
figure.
Please.
Keith put it. I think a natural correction is always a good thing. It's a healthy thing, and I look at it from rather than something that intimidates me, rather than, okay, so is this a teaching moment? What can I learn from that? Am I prepared for that? And I think the last 20 plus years that we've been in business, I think we should be prepared for something like that. We have seen it historically. I don't think it will be as impactful as it was in 2009. I definitely agree with that. But I also think that we are in different periods of our lives that we can probably try to be better prepared for it. And what I mean by that is in 2009, we were still a full functioning family in the sense that we had children at home. So that draws a different dynamic.
Sure.
We are empty nesters now. They bring their own little dynamic.
No, we're not. We've got a puppy and a cat.
Well, in a sense.
We're not empty nesters.
They're a lot less costly than two daughters.
You want to bet?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but anyhow, so I really think that I'm trying to look at it from a positive end of view, that I say to myself, okay, we've lived through this once before, we're going to live through it again. And probably stronger than before, and maybe a little bit wiser than before. Not that we don't want to take risks or don't want to take the opportunities.
I'm going to twist it a little bit, Yonna,
but
if you don't mind. Can I jump in?
Sure.
So this is the time when, of course, Yonna and I would love to help somebody, but this, in my opinion, is the time we really needed a trusted advisor. You need a real estate agent. There's some really good ones looking, watching us at the moment. I can't recall the names, but the folks that are watching are rock stars of real estate agents. But that's when you want to get in front of somebody like that and ask that question, because the market and what the real estate market is doing is so specific to you, right? So it's what location you want to be, what price you want to be, what features you want to be, what conditions do you want. So you need to find somebody with, that doesn't mean a rookie couldn't help you, but we just happen to have a lot of years of experience and can navigate through that a little bit smoother in times.
How about this topic that's put up by an agent that's watching? New tax laws maybe having an effect on the real estate market, especially in terms of inventory, which is at an all-time low, it seems. Thoughts on that topic?
So I'm assuming they're referring to the $10,000. Is that what they're referring to?
That was the extent of the comment.
Yeah.
I do know inventory is very, very low.
Yeah, but I don't think it's because of that.
Okay.
I don't think
it's just
so
because
either.
of the market forces
Gotcha.
at the moment. I think if we were sitting in New York City or whatever, I'm assuming they're referring to the $10,000 credit. Well, then not a lot of tax base in this area exceeds that dollar amount that I'm aware of anyway. I mean, of course, if you have a multi-million-dollar property, maybe your taxes are up at that price point. But the average person isn't paying $10,000 in taxes in this area.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. Low inventory.
It's market forces.
It's the market forces. Truly, it is. We are very fortunate that we are actually able to work with sellers who are thinking about putting their home on the market, and they are, again, similar to the buyers, very educated and very informed, and they do know that even in a low inventory market, you need to price your home correctly.
Correct.
You cannot go above market. I mean, these are sort of the lessons I think that we learned from an overheated market in 2006 to 2008, that people were cashing in on the equity on their home that really wasn't there. So these days, and I think that's why I always say that the market is a good, strong market, and it may correct itself naturally, in a sense that, maybe there is a little bit more, I would say, spirit and interest by buyers to, take their little time, take a little bit longer to go ahead and make a decision, or sellers to put their home on the market. But I really think it's a low inventory market is not a If
you look across the area, most of our jurisdictions or regions, or Lake Monticello, Charlottesville, whatever, Greene County, Nelson, if you take a look at it, it's under 90 days for the most part.
Days on market.
Yes.
Yeah, and when you're under 90 days, it's just...
It's healthy.
It's healthy. When you start going over 90, it doesn't make it unhealthy. It just gets it a little bit closer to balance, but those who have been in the market for a while remember back in 2009 and 10 and 11 when things were on the market for quite a much longer than that. So
we got a couple questions coming in.
Sure.
First question, do you guys think that there is a possibility that the Charlottesville and Albemarle County market are nearly recession-proof?
Well, nothing's recession-proof.
I would probably rephrase that and say recession-insulated. I think more than recession-proof.
Like is that because of the university?
Obviously, yes, because of the employer base that you have here. It's not just the university. I mean, it's the hospital, Martha Jefferson, too.
State Farm,
CFA,
CFA.
NJIC. And Charlottesville, Albemarle also had in the last downturn. I mean, we have seen it. Actually, they were hit literally on the outgoing end of it, the tail end of it, and they were also able to kind of recoup and reconnect faster again, just because of that employment base that we
went in last, came out
first. Yeah.
Do you see it? Do you see? I mean, what do you say to the folks that are our colleague here, Judah, who's a brother to me? Mm-hmm. I mean that, Judah. I know you might not always think that, but you are our colleague who's directing the show. We've worked together for 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow. The business was 11 years this past May. So we've been through the thick, see each other 50 hours a week. Spend more time, a lot of times with him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's saying the same thing. Look, he's nodding his head right now. When I say it's a love-hate relationship, I love him, he hates me.
There you go.
But we work extremely well together. What do you say to say an associate or a colleague like Judah just bought a home?
Sure.
With
First thing is congratulations.
Congratulations.
Right? Welcome to home
ownership. Yeah.
And welcome to the American dream, because that is part of the American dream.
Yeah.
Right? And I think what you're trying to ask me is, did he do a good? Did he make the right decision?
He's starting a 30-year.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have potentially perhaps correction on the horizon.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Well, it's always the best investment. You will increase in value. And any one of our first-time home buyers or any buyers, we always have this conversation at the closing table. And Judah, I know you're listening, so I won't have to look at you. Try to make, and he and I had this conversation off air when he was talking about this, try to make 1 to 2 extra payments a month, because that'll knock that 30-year down
You're
to 8.
1 to 2 a year.
Small payments.
Okay, gotcha.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
1 to 2 monthly payments extra a year. And then you would then tag that towards your principal, right? So you would, whoever lender you have, you just pay however you want to work it out throughout the year, buy 1 less of these. And that'll reduce your mortgage. And we talked about this with Mike Bittrick. That'll reduce your mortgage potentially down to 18 years. So
it's huge.
Yeah.
It is.
So
and we've actually done that. Keith and I have actually done that, and we've been able to really, make a significant, I would say, dent in our mortgage. Because when you see the schedule initially, you don't want to see it. So
right. Because it's so front-loaded on interest.
Oh yeah, it is. The first 10 years you pay for interest.
But basically. You're paying yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
when Judah goes, the average buyer now is 7 to 9 years. When Judah goes to sell his house and he's paying down his principal a little bit more, he'll end up with a little bit more cash in his pocket so he can make a lateral move or go live in the Caribbean, which I think he's been saying he wants to do.
Join us in St. Martin.
Right. So, no, you're not welcome in St. Martin. So it's.
So your advice is, 1, if you can make if you can make 13 mortgage payments in a 12-month period of time.
Correct. That's the
Then
best
you're
way
going to
to
go 18. You're going to trim a 30
You
days.
can trim it back.
Yeah,
You can
so
definitely
exactly
trim it
right,
back
yeah.
significantly.
So I think Rachel Burns said this on the show, and I may be misquoting her. But, look, if you're going to be paying the same amount as owning as versus renting, why are you making somebody else's mortgage payment? Make your own mortgage payment. Build your own equity up. Create, your own wealth so that you can move forward. It's usually the number one purchase most people ever make. And the more you can pay yourself, the more that you will put in your pocket when you go to sell it.
What do you think, Yonna?
I absolutely agree. Home ownership is definitely one of the values that I would consider not just the American dream, but itself in the pursuit of happiness. I think that's
technically it is.
It is, right? Yes.
So we come from, when Yonna and I first met, we lived under communism for half of a decade. And I will tell you, loved the people. People were unbelievable. The most capitalist people I've ever met in my life. Right?
A bottle of Johnny Walker.
A bottle of Johnny Walker Red will get you anything.
It'll get you anything, yes.
So there's a story behind that.
Teaching moments.
Do we have
we have
time
plenty of time.
To hear about that? So Yonna and I just met. This must have been 1985 or 86. It was 85. And so, we lived under communism for a half a decade. And it's just like super... most capitalist people I ever met in my life were communists. And so anyway, so Yonna bought a brand new Mazda 323, which was like equivalent to a GTI. And we made the mistake of parking it on the street one day. For whatever reason, we did that. And somebody stole the windshield. Literally stole the windshield out from the thing.
Actually, it was in front of the Austrian embassy.
It was in front of the, literally in front of the Austrian embassy on the street.
Yes.
Somebody stole the windshield. And so, you know, somebody needed a windshield because you couldn't buy one, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't, you know, you couldn't buy anything, the local folks. So so what I did, we had drivers, right? And all their names were Vladimir. And they all were KGB, right? So they were watching us, we were watching them. It was just this game. So it wasn't really a Cold War. It was kind of a hot war, but in any event. So I went to the diplomatic shop where only diplomats could buy. So we had diplomatic passports. We didn't have any military ID and stuff like that. And I bought a case of Johnny Walker Red. It cost me $12. And I walked up to Vladimir. And I said, Vladimir, I need a windshield. And I handed it to him. I turned around and walked away. 3 days later, he had a windshield in the car.
Yeah, he apparently went to Greece or somehow not it followed into Greece. I have no idea.
Who being who I am, I was like, okay, I got to know how you did that.
Right.
Right. Now, keep in mind, anything we're talking about, he's reporting back to his superiors at the KGB, right? So he goes, we have a conversation between me and you. I said, of course, Vladimir. And he goes, so I took half of them, went on the black market, sold them for $100 a bottle. Remember, I paid $12. I spent $12. No, excuse me. I lied to you. I spent $24 for 12 bottles. Then he took that cash and bribed his way out of the country to Greece, bought a windshield, bribed his way back in, paid the guy that put the windshield in like a bottle of Johnny Walker, and he holds up whatever, 2 or 3 bottles, and he goes, these are mine. And I went, okay. And so, but yeah, for a you know, couple of pair of Levi's, I could have walked out with a T-72 tank.
Levi's and
Marlboros and Johnny Walker
Red. Yeah, it was an interesting teaching moment.
It was a teaching moment. You're getting a lot of props. Jamie Patterson, giving you some props right now. Victoria Vanderveen.
Oh, yeah. Love her. Hi, Victoria. Yes.
Lulu Acosta.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Saying hello to you as well.
Hello back.
A new question coming in. Are we seeing the glut of new construction going away? And if so, how does that impact me selling an older home? That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So it's the where that makes a difference.
Okay.
Right. So, so if you're in a subdivision where there's a bunch of new construction left, right, and you're trying to sell a house that's only a couple years old, you're behind the 8 ball. It's just you're going to be competing against something brand new. Why would I buy something that's 2 years older when I can have you build me a brand new house? That's exactly what I want. Conversely, if you're in a subdivision that is built out, right, you're not going to be competing against new construction. You're going to be in a position of strength on that. So I don't know if that really answered the question.
That's a good one. I got a follow up for that. So
sure.
Can you get the good deal then? If you're looking, I'm a deal guy. If you're going in and you buy the 2-year-old home, it's pretty darn close to new. Versus going in there and it's like the same concept with buying a new car. Take a brand new car, drive it off the lot. It depreciates 40% as soon as you drive it off the lot. Yep. And that's why I like to buy 2-year-old cars.
It's literally what we do.
3-year-old cars.
That's exactly what we do.
But the home doesn't depreciate by 40%.
No.
There's no way. No. I would disagree
I mean,
with that.
Conceptually, yes, you could. If you're on the buy side of it, right?
You can negotiate that.
You can negotiate it. But I'll have to tell you, so it's where. So where are we talking about? That's important, you know. You might be able to negotiate a better deal with the builder and get something brand new for the same price. I would look at that if we're representing a buyer and they're looking at a subdivision that has both products in it. You know, we sit down and say, okay, let's take a look at this and see where the numbers are at, see what the features and conditions are. They may have something that just doesn't meet their needs.
How about the purchasing of the model home?
Oh yeah.
And running the model home back to.
Yeah.
That's pretty customary with some of the bigger builders
Sure.
here in town, and I think you definitely can take
Now, that's a
advantage of
deal.
that.
If you can make
that's
that
a
happen.
deal. That's a deal.
Because then you run it for 2 years back to the developer.
That's correct.
But you got to be at that place in your life, right?
Yeah, you need to have the flexibility to be able to
so
do
if
that.
Keith and Yonna wanted to do it, and we're okay waiting a year, and it met our needs, we say, I tell you what, I'll buy it for you, and then I make an income.
Yeah.
It becomes an investment property at that point. But most people are not in that position.
Because you're saying they got to maintain their current home, not sell that home to use the cash to buy the model home.
And then this would be a question for Mike or a lender. How does that work? Because now
Bridge
there's a
loans.
secondary home and a primary home.
So that's probably someone whose cash position is pretty deep.
I would think so. Because
Usually that's how it works.
Yeah, because
in my
otherwise
opinion.
you would need to. You think about bridge loans.
You
and
have
stuff like
carrying
that.
2 mortgages, you're saying.
Carrying 2 mortgages. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to be able to get 2 mortgages, and it's not amount of your credit worthiness and so forth and so on. It's what programs are available at that point in time. So generally, my experience has been, because we used to do that when we were building, it was usually a cash buyer, right? They sold something up in New York or whatever, and they had X number of cash, and they were going to go travel for 6 months. I'll lease it back from you for 6 months, and we'll come back and move in.
Yeah.
Circumstances similar to that.
I love it. This has been a phenomenal show, easy show. We're an hour in.
Oh.
Seriously?
Very
Wow.
pleasant program. I want to close with the Yes Team. And Jude, I'd like to get the Yes Team call to action on screen. Talk to us about the Yes Team, Yonna Smith. The Yes Team Realtors.
Very fortunate that we're able to go ahead and really be on a professional level and also obviously on a personal level a team, in a sense that we know our strengths and weaknesses individually, and we're able to go ahead and kind of pursue the goal and the dream that we have, which is having a family, having a home, being able to have the opportunity to work with wonderful people and making a difference. I think for me that's the goal as a Yes Team, as a human, as a family member, as a wife, as a mom, and grandmother. Sorry, I forgot about the grandmother.
Yes,
Grandma now.
my
I'm a
wife has
grandma.
another man.
Do you like Grandma?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you
Gigi,
like the
I'm
moniker
Gigi.
Grandma? Oh, you're Gigi?
I'm the Gigi, yes.
Okay,
I'm the
I like
Gigi.
that.
So.
My wife has another man in her life.
Yes,
What, your
he-
grandson?
It just
He has
happens to be 6
competition.
months
He
old.
has
I
competition,
have total
yeah.
competition.
I've seen the photos. He's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think what we love and what makes the Yes Team what it is and what we do is the story we told about Julius. I mean,
it's
that's
amazing.
That's it. I mean, that is.
And he has an update for you.
Oh.
He says, Keith, I'm the direct descendant of Sally's mother and her sister Betty. And he goes, I absolutely love you guys.
Oh,
yeah.
he's an amazing man. And tell you
Thank you
what,
for the correction.
Thank you, Calvin.
But that's why we do it.
Yeah.
That's it right there. And that's what gets us up in the morning. That what puts us a big smile on our face, and see what we can do and help people. And and if
Another teaching moment.
yeah, and
know?
if we should happen to make enough money to pay for a second wedding, good. Then there you go.
When is that wedding?
Are we allowed
we're not-
to do that?
No.
We're
No,
not allowed
quite
to do
yet.
that.
Okay,
Not quite
gotcha.
yet.
It's on the horizon.
It's
It
next
is
year.
on the
next
horizon.
year.
Is it going to be in Seattle?
No,
No.
it's going to be in Virginia.
Oh, it's going to be in Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's, and I'm not saying too much. Youngest daughter just moved to Seattle. Fiance's a doctor.
He's an amazing
Does that
guy.
say that?
He's an amazing guy. And so is his family. Just
Yeah,
wonderful
man.
people.
I can't tell you how lucky and fortunate we are that we're going to end up making one big old family.
Yeah, your family's
they're just
growing.
They're
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It is. It's. I joke around in every show. You ask me how I'm doing. I said, look, if it was any better, it'd be illegal. And I'm telling you, if it was any better, it'd be illegal. I mean, look at that. I wake up with that every morning.
Thank
We
you.
have happy customers giving you props on your
Thank
show.
you.
We've got happy.
You get your buddy Bellamy Brown watching right
There
now.
you go. Semper Fi, Marine.
Sarah says, I want your travel notes if you'll share. Mike and I are planning our 15th anniversary next year, and
Sure.
the place you go sounds perfect for us.
Sure.
Definitely. Love to.
John says, Harry, your hair is always on point.
Thank
and
you.
he wants to know how in the hell you do scotch for a windshield.
Call me. I'll tell you.
Yeah, he'll let you know. He will let you know.
It's called negotiations. See, there you go. We
Negotiating.
negotiated a windshield, and we negotiate for people to buy houses and sell houses.
And
There
we
you go.
close the show by giving some love to Charlottesville Settlement Company.
Yeah. So hey, great for the segue. So Bill Tucker's going to join us next Friday,
Awesome.
and we're going to try to demystify the closing process and try to simplify it, like we did with Mike Bitrick about the loan process. So looking forward to it. Unique guy. We're going to get him to. He has several signed posters by Janis Joplin.
Whoa.
Oh.
He is a pretty
My
neat dude,
Janis.
and I'm really looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah.
In fact, I might ask him to bring some of them along.
Please do.
There you go.
Next Friday,
Yes.
Real Talk, the Insider's Guide to Central Virginia Real Estate. We have Bill Tucker of Charlottesville Settlement Company on the show. It's Fridays at 10:15 on the I Love CVille network. For about an hour, we try to make real estate insightful, approachable, share knowledge from two experts, and just help you understand what is arguably one of the most complicated things you do in life. And these experts help demystify your word, the process, and make it as easy as humanly possible. He is Keith Smith. She is Yonna Smith. They comprise the Yes Team Realtors. They're your choice for real estate, home buying, and selling in Central Virginia. My name is Jerry Miller. Put on your iPhone calendar or your smartphone calendar 10:15 a.m. on Friday mornings for Real Talk, powered by the Yes Team. Enjoy the rest of your morning. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Excellent work.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to grab a photo really quickly. Harris is going to take that. Thank you, Judah.